think I might. I don't know. I might. I don't want to wipe the computer, but I think I might have to wipe the computer. You know what I mean?
I do know.
Unfortunately, yes, I do.
Hopefully not recently for either of you, but sometimes you just don't know what's happening, and the only way to make it stop is to start over. Is it worth even trying Hunter EX5?
You can see where you are.
We Were Gamers, episode 363. Is it worth trying Hunter EX5? Andrew, let me tell you, I tried it. The answer is no.
Okay, I have Scarecrow and Zonta and Uni. That's my 5-star roster for Hunters.
Yeah, I have more than those. Mine. I have more than that, and let me tell you, no.
Okay.
I have Kristjas and Hanet, and they didn't help. Not sure they did help. They did help. Kristjas's bow debuff helped a lot, but you need more than that to get through EX5. You need some skill, and I don't have any of that. So no, we're not doing that.
Put a pin in that. Come back to me later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Sounds good.
extra, however many number of those things. Get some gold orbs. Get that bow, I guess. I don't know what the heck else you get in that thing. There's not a lot of good stuff in that.
Hey, you only need one of those bows. You really only need one.
Yeah. Did you get one before? I didn't.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. So you good then? Yeah.
Gold and silver orbs. It is.
Yep. Pretty much. I got a bunch of nuts. Why not? Get some nuts. Get some orbs.
Because you get a bunch of them from doing the tower.
Also true.
It's one of the rewards for clearing the tower floors, so kind of meh.
All right. So, hey, folks, we're back. It's We Were Gamers, episode 363. You already heard Michael and Andrew on there. How are we doing this week, guys?
Yay.
Doing all right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
It's off to a start.
I really have to start this off.
We're here.
Yeah. We are here, unlike Andy Blaseball. We talked about that. We talked about that on this show before. How I was a fan, and he was a non-zero level of fan, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I was a
active and willing
I was a fan. I played.
We enjoyed it,
but I fell off. I think a lot faster than you did, because once they started doing the reset and they had the rotating on off, like. The game is on. The game is not on. The game is on. The game is not on. That's when it fell hard for me.
Well, they were supposedly testing stuff for when they come back, and then they came back, and then they came back because everyone said it sucked, and they were right. And then they decided, you know what, actually, nah. And then they folded up shop, and no more Blaseball.
Yep. As of a few weeks ago now, we've been slow in responding to it because it's kind of been sad, but like. They posted a thing where they said it's officially dead. It's too much money, not enough return, way too many hours, too many hires. All the things are wrong with this. The equation is completely upside down. We can't do this anymore. Sorry. And the sadder news that came with that was layoffs.
Yeah. Ooh. They're undoubtedly right. Yeah. I mean, they see the books and we don't, but it is sad that they never really got to start whatever their plan was for season 3. And, they never got the apps out, man. I really wish they had at least gotten the app out so that people could have tried it and seen if it was awesome. Because it might have been sweet if the app worked, right? But
no, sure. Why not?
Never got there, right? Who knows? So pour one out for Blaseball, folks.
Maybe the fan community will pick it up. I'm sure that they would release the IP for that to them. Maybe. I don't know.
There is
like something that might do.
There definitely is a very dedicated fan community. So I hope that for those folks that they get it. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, it just was sad that like I think it was a victim of COVID, right? Like
totally
became popular right then.
It was
people are back to being busy.
Yep, huge phenomenon as people were stuck inside. And was super fun during that time, and like, man, some of the craziest stuff that ever happened. Like, I was logging into Blaseball on my phone to watch a squid talk to me while we were at a bar because I heard something crazy was happening. Right? Like,
right.
that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, had a JRPG boss fight, all that kind of stuff. Very cool.
The genie came out of that bottle real fast, and I'm glad it did. But yeah, you can't replicate it.
Lightning in a bottle, as they say. So a lot of cool stuff been going on, guys. We got to talk about this. Y'all saw, Michael, the biggest news coming out of this Nintendo.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh, Nintendo.
They said it would never happen, JJ. You said it would never happen, JJ.
Prime 4.
Oh no, Andy. Oh no.
But happy 6th anniversry to the announcement of Prime 4.
Doing the little Rodney Dangerfield hot under the collar thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, not that though. But I did say that I was skeptical that this would happen, and they can't believe they actually did it, Michael. What are they doing?
They came for the doubters, and we are getting a remake of the classic Super Mario RPG.
The Legend of the 7 Stars. Why are we ignoring the 7 stars?
Give it full credit where credit is due.
Is this slant? Like, what's the reverse of, like, I don't know what this is. This is like throwing trash on the name of the Super Mario RPG, The Legend of the 7 Stars. Keep that subtitle. Honor it.
Are they going to keep it? I didn't see the news for that.
I don't know, honestly. It just said like Super Mario RPG Remaster is what I saw, right?
Did the eBay price for Super Nintendo SMRPG carts drop immediately overnight?
I don't know. I feel like it could have jumped because people decided, I need to play this.
Folks, that one is on the SNES Classic. I was going to say maybe on Wii U.
Okay, yeah, no, it's dead. It's just on the SNES Classic subscription then. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. Or no. I mean the physical SNES Classic box. The mini
it's got to also
Nintendo.
be on the Switch. Hold on. I got my Switch
no, it is not on the Switch Online thing. It's not on there. I know.
Continue.
People looked, man. Low. It's not there.
No, don't make me sad. I don't want to. How much do I have to pay for this? It's gonna be like $80.
Probably $60.
$60. It's already up for pre-order on all the places.
Yeah.
Okay. So full remake, remaster. What are they talking about doing here?
So, I suppose it's unclear.
They're calling it a remake.
Uh-oh.
They are calling it a remake, which lends the possibility that they change stuff. Okay. But the screens that they have shown have been pretty faithful to what that stuff was. And to the point that some of the high-res images of like sprites, like they showed like, hey, this is the old sprite. And like, look at this one now in high res. And you like look at it and you're like, oh my God, there were references in this old sprite that none of us could see because it was too small.
Oh, interesting.
Like the pixel art had like a little pixel, like 3 or 4 pixels that was a little guy, but you couldn't see the little guy. It just looked like a little like smudge on the side of the thing. And in the high res art, it's a little guy. And you're like, oh my God, that's some other Square Enix property that's not part of this game. Huh. Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot
it's
of
definitely not on there.
There you go.
Yep. So
Super Mario World is on there 3 times.
Which I mean, pretty good game. So
sure.
A lot of the footage and stuff focused on, look at how great these graphics look as we brought them forward. But the fact that they're showing off those little details makes me hopeful that they're going to like truly embrace the spirit of that game and not mess with it too much.
I think they are, since a lot of the shots from the trailer that they released, at least things that aren't obviously cut scenes, seemed like they were a lot of shot for shot from the original game, just with totally overhauled textures and graphics and sprites.
I really don't remember this game that well. wonder if I played it. I don't know.
Oh, it's a great one.
I'm trying to think of Super Mario RPG. I know I've watched a lot of gameplay of it, right? Like it's been speed run. It's been a thing that I've seen played before.
Mm.
But I don't remember anybody that I played SNES with at the time having it. I had a lot of Super Mario World and other Super Mario, and I never got it. So,
did you know a bunch of people
I
with
know the game.
FF3 or 6?
I had
Three
FF3,
slash 6?
and other people I know had FF3. Other people I know had FF3. So maybe that's why.
I was just curious.
Maybe that's why.
It definitely was one of those like this game was all over Nintendo Power all the time kind of games.
Yeah, it
And
was.
not clear how much of that was this game is popular versus Nintendo Power wants you to buy this game.
Sure. I just remember also like FF6 or 3 or whatever you want to call it. Just being the one, right? It was like the first one of like everybody said you had to play this RPG. And I wonder if that was why I got that one and I didn't get the other one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I definitely I personally have never beaten the game, right? I've played chunks of it, in pieces here, but I don't know that I've ever actually gone all the way through.
Yeah, so this is one that I have played through multiple times. Both originally on the SNES and since then on emulators. So this is one that I was very excited to hear.
I mean, how does it compare to like the classic RPGs at that time? I mean, unique and because it's a Miyamoto connected game, or most like Super Square.
It's definitely unique because it's not it doesn't aspire to that sort of sweeping opera feel that you get from a lot of the RPGs and JRPGs of the time. It was a lot more it was a lot more humorous. There was a lot more tongue in cheek going on. It poked fun at a lot of the Mario tropes in different ways. You know, either outright poking fun at them or sort of turning them on their head in a lot of clever ways. So it was definitely it was its own game. It was different from a lot of the typical fare at the time.
How much of that game do you think we can credit for what happens in like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and those other 3DS games, right? Like they have the active combat and all that stuff.
I think a lot of the combat especially, I think a lot of it draws from this as its inspiration because the timing of button pressing to increase the damage of your attacks or reduce the incoming damage is all straight out of SMRPG.
Right. That stuff is like something I totally associate with that game and then the lineage of all those 3DS games or DS games also. I wonder if they're going to update this with stuff from those in that, like change the way that stuff works, right?
Yeah, they can't, right? They can't.
There's at least one addition I saw to the battle mechanic. There was a percentage wheel that they showed on the screen in some of the fight shots that seemed to be counting up to 100%, and that definitely wasn't in the original. So they've made some tweaks.
I mean, Square Enix can do remasters well. Look at that Final Fantasy VII remake, or sorry, remake. They can, right? The Final Fantasy VII remake is very good.
It's the only question on a remake of this game specifically would be whether or not having these two companies try to remake it together forces a problem, right? Like, does that mean that they have to get along on every decision? Did Nintendo just say, Square, go ahead, remake it? We don't care how you do it. Just do whatever.
I get the feeling the second thing more than the first thing, so. But hard to know.
Yeah, Square, remake it for us, and we'll slap our logo on it.
We won't sue you for using Mario if you do this.
Maybe. Yeah, could be.
Well, like
well,
I said,
that's exciting anyway.
Yeah, super exciting. Michael, hit us with some of the other highlights from that Nintendo Direct, because there was more. That wasn't the only thing.
Yeah, so that wasn't the
Oh,
only.
well, I feel like it is the only thing.
That wasn't even the only Mario
Wrong.
news. We're
What?
getting a new. They ended the Direct by announcing that we're getting a new 2D Mario called Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which looks like several of the 2D Super Mario Brothers that they released on the Wii and the Wii U. So the same sort of side-scrolling platforming. I think they're introducing the multiplayer, Andy. So if you missed the fun that was trying to get 4 people in sync on a side-scrolling 2D game, it's back for you.
No.
Yeah. So
I'm
get
not
ready
into
for
that.
some get ready for some fun new powers and some of the classic 2D Mario nostalgia.
Yeah, so I saw that trailer for that. What did they call it? Wonder, right?
Yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Is this like Mario doing drugs?
That's
That
Paper Mario.
That flower talks, dude. That's like a hallmark psychedelic thing, right?
I mean, how many inanimate objects have talked in past Mario games?
How
We
many
got talking
mushrooms does
stars
Mario
and
eat?
galaxies.
Mario
Oh.
talked to a hat all of the last game that he was in, I think.
Right? You take this mushroom and all of a sudden the ground starts getting crazy. Things start wiggling. Like the flowers are talking. You turn into an elephant. This really seems like a Mario trip game, dude. How was this not the first thing that came to everyone's mind? Like, this is what I'm asking.
It's not Super Mario Brothers 2. We're not quite at that level.
I don't know. Are we?
Oh.
Like the flowers are talking, the turning into an elephant? That's pretty crazy.
It's up there.
Daisy is in it?
Yeah. Yeah, they added Daisy.
What's wrong with
to this
Daisy
one.
being in it?
Oh, it's just throwing shade at Nintendo for having excluded women for so long.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you were saying the opposite. I was like, I don't see the problem.
No, I think it's rad that Daisy is in it. I can't believe it took them this long.
Yeah.
I think the change to Daisy's character from that movie is a real boon to their like character development department. Like, hey, look what Daisy's allowed to be now. She was in this way in the movie, so now you can use her as something else in these games, you know?
Good choices.
Gonna definitely say
It's
I know
my
what that's
opinion.
about. Certainly am nodding my head and agreeing.
Oh, did you not see the movie?
Haven't seen that movie.
Oh, she's a free-spirited princess, kind of like a Disney princess situation, but like the newer Disney princesses.
Got it.
Okay.
Did neither of you see the Mario movie?
No.
Look, that game looks
Did
cool.
we talk about me seeing the Mario movie? I just feel like
I think you brought it up, yes, but I think that's
the number one thing.
That's your opinion.
The number one thing I'm happiest about, it's not new Super Mario Brothers. That makes me so happy.
Oh.
Yeah. They learned their lesson and just dropped it.
Yeah, did you not play those games?
I did. I played most of those games.
I was so sick by the end of that line of games of the like pa da 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 pa, like all the little like all the flowers dancing at once in the same background. I was so over that art style. I'm just happy they're doing something new and different and weird. Like, please give me all the weird stuff. That's okay.
It's an interesting design space to have taken over now. That they don't have a Mario Maker anymore. They're just like, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, great. That's what people liked about Mario, right? Like the weird, crazy stuff they'd get up to. That's cool. I mean, that was 3D World to some extent too, right? Where like they had all these weird gimmicks that would only show up in like a level or two, and then there was it, you know?
Yeah, on to the next gimmick, right?
I wondered if they were like too afraid, thinking that 2D games wouldn't sell. And now you've got this like huge crop of independent 2D-ish games, 2.5D games, right?
Andrew, I guarantee you some dude in a suit in a meeting at some point was like, this is a 2D game, it's not going to sell. 100% someone said that, right? And then someone is like, look at this elephant. And people are like, damn, he's right. That elephant. We got to make this game.
Well, I hope people pointed at things like Hollow Knight and Ori, and even if you want to come in-house, the new Metroid 2D, and said, hey, there are people out here who still love and are playing 2D games.
And you can make like cool art, cool 3D art in 2D games, and it's still cool. Like, you could push the graphics that way, and it's not just it's like a boring 2D game.
Yeah, this one, and I think I wonder saw a clip that this one's 2.5, because there was a scene where one of the characters like showed up in the foreground on a different depth from the rest of the
Donkey Kong Island Tropical Freeze, my guys.
There you go.
Did you guys play that game?
I want to see.
Oh, yeah,
I like it.
It's absolutely that, right? They're just like, hey, that game was pretty good. Let's steal all that. And you're like, yeah, please.
It's one of those games I like to play, but I'll probably never beat. Just because it's like, oh, that was cute. That was a good half hour. I'll do something else now.
Beating that game is a chore, let me tell you. I tried to play it co-op with my roommate at the time, like way back when. Oh my God, that game is hard.
At those levels, some of those levels get rough.
Oh, man. Well, I want to see the spreadsheet inside like Nintendo headquarters. They've got a big board, I'm sure. And like, it felt like for years they were trying to separate games into genres. Like, oh, well, Zelda doesn't have 2D action anymore. It's got to be more like, it can only be like a Ocarina or Wind Waker, like that style game. And Super Mario Bros. Are now our like 3D exploration game. And we'll use Metroid or somebody else to do 2D action, and we'll do Kirby as like brawlers now, and we'll do
the latest Kirby was a 3D game too, though, right? Like,
I think that's where he's going, though, right? Is that they're starting to blend. They're starting to blur the lines between what things are allowed to be.
Who is super mad that their old flowchart is now just sort of a gigantic funnel of like, sell games? I don't know.
I mean, me, who doesn't want every game to be an open world game, I'm mad. But like, 2D Mario is not going to end up as an open world game. But if it turns into a Metroidvania, will I complain? No, I will be very excited, right? Like, they won't do that. They won't. But if it did, oh my God. Like,
there's a chance.
Yeah, as long as everything doesn't go in the same direction, I'm totally happy with things going in different directions than what's expected.
Totally. And I think, we've had like one of the all-time great 3D Mario games in Odyssey, right? Like, that game spoiled us, dude. That game is so good.
I don't know how you top it.
And exactly. And Nintendo doesn't know either.
You don't try. You
Exactly.
put out something different first.
Let it marinate for another 5 more years and make this 2D game and get all the crazy. Look at all those Mario Maker levels. Be like, okay, most of these were really terrible, but there's a few that have some cool ideas, and take those and then put them in levels with other cool stuff that you're coming up with. And
dude,
the game.
What if there's like the normal game for kids, right? Like the 2D. Hey, here's a 2D Mario. Enjoy this. And then you beat it, and it's just got the Kaizo button at the end.
Oh, are you talking about Champions Road from Super Mario 3D World, which is literally that?
Or Rainbow Road from Super Mario World way back when?
Yeah, but like for every level.
I would love where they just take every single level, and there's like the Celeste B side, right? Or D side or C side or whatever. Like,
exactly. Yes.
You flip it over, and like every jump needs 2 extra pixels. Every enemy is like more annoyingly placed. They put a block right there where you jump normally, so that you hit it and you fall to death. Right? Like,
if they just did that down.
If they did that, just like if Nintendo did that, I think this would become one of the most beloved games they've ever made. They absolutely 500% will not. And I will love to be wrong, but they are not doing that. But it would be so amazing.
Okay, so you heard it, Nintendo. You want to sell billions of copies, make it a super easy game that all of a sudden midway through turns into a Metroidvania, and at the end has B-sides.
This is the thing. Don't make it so that you have to beat the whole damn game to get the good levels.
Yes.
Beat the world, make
sure.
the previous world eat hard or whatever. Don't make the people have to play 8 worlds or whatever number of worlds of terrible levels that are just boring. To be fair, that's not true. They're not terrible. They're fun, but easy levels, right? And then you get to the end, and then all of a sudden it's like, here's your one hard course, guys, Dark Side of the Moon. And you're like, okay, but what if the whole game?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So anyway, let's see if they do it. I would love it to be true. They're not going to, but I would love it. That would be so great.
Yeah. So there's one more thing that comes out of this. There's a lot of good news. So go look up everything that came out of this direct. But there's one piece of news that hits close to home for this podcast that I think we need to talk about.
Yes.
So Andy, what if the next time we get together, you and JJ and I can sit down on the couch and all play Vampire Survivors together?
I want to go to there.
You will soon be able to.
Couch co-op Vampire Survivors, baby, let's go.
I want to go to there.
Yeah, so this, I don't think anybody saw this coming. But yeah, they announced Vampire Survivors is coming to Switch in August. And it'll have couch co-op with up to 4 players.
It also
sounds, I don't know how that's going to work. What if you run off the side of the screen?
That's a good question. I don't know how they're gonna rein you in.
But it does look like it is coming to other platforms as well. So you want to have 4 players on your Steam Deck somehow. Maybe you can try to do that.
Okay. I don't get how that's gonna work, but I'm happy to try.
They've definitely shown, like, you know, the couple videos in the trailer are just like multiple people running around on the same screen, right? But they don't explain what you do when one of them runs off. Maybe they just don't let you,
bounded to a particular person.
Either that, or it does the thing where you split off into your own little corner of the map. That would be cool, right? See, the map is all dynamic screen.
Hey man, Lego did dynamic split screen. I feel like Vampire Survivors can handle it. In terms of the graphics cost, quote unquote.
Yeah, can the hardware handle it? Was going to be my response immediately to that question.
It's still Vampire Survivors, so you hope so, but I guess question mark. You know?
Yeah,
it's a lot of sprites. It's a lot of sprites for a Switch.
Yeah, not wrong. Yeah, very cool. I think that was a completely left field change.
Cool. It sounds like it gets announced by Nintendo also.
Yeah, absolutely right. Like a big stage to get that game on. That's like very cool.
Yeah, good for them.
Totally. Hey, speaking of good for them,
understand things.
Yeah, question mark on that one. But speaking of good for them, there was one of those demo weekends going on for Steam. I think actually it might still be going. I'm not sure how long it goes for.
Is this the Steam Next Fest?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
I took advantage of this to play a game that I think Michael has also touched. And there was a demo out for Sea of Stars. Did we talk about it on this podcast before?
Yeah, people out there should go back and listen to episode 347.
All right.
Whoa, we did research. Guaranteed you didn't remember that off the top of your head.
No, I looked that one
up. So people can check that out. But I have now put hands on it, and I think, Michael, did you play the demo also?
I did. I played my way through it.
Man, that game is
awesome. Let me ask you off the bat, JJ, did you play it as it is, or did you turn the difficulty slider way down to just enjoy the story?
Was there what difficulty slider?
There was so I'm trying to remember. It was either a toggle in one of the menus, or there was an item that was hidden Maybe there was a hidden shop under the dock in the town that you were in that you could find, and they sold an item, and
So
that might have had the.
I think that item had the extra boss behind it. I didn't do that. That is one thing I know that I didn't do. But there were also items in my inventory that implied that they would do things like make the combat easier for me, and I did not use those.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of is the stuff that's already in your inventory.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I did not use those, but
So
I
we
did beat the
played we
demo,
played
and it
the
was not
same.
that tough. So, for those out there worried about the combat difficulty, it was fine. I was pretty
Uh,
proud that I got pretty good at bouncing that boomerang, though. I was like, I was grooving, man.
It starts to get fast.
Yeah, it ends eventually. Did you know?
Yeah, if you hit it enough times, it'll
It
stop.
it just stops. Like I was hitting it good. It just stopped. It was me. I was good. I felt pretty proud when I got to do that a few times.
how was the thing that weirds me out the most, the on map turn-based combat? How did you like it? Did it annoy you?
It felt really good. Andrew, it's a lot like Secret of Mana. It's
Yep.
really what it felt like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, it's on map, but really it's like
Or Chrono Trigger.
yeah, Chrono Trigger like very much, right? You walk into the enemy, everyone spreads out in a position on the map that you're already on, and then you guys fight in a turn-based manner. And in fact, Chrono Trigger was something I was going to bring up in relation to this game's graphics. This game looks like people looked at Chrono Trigger and were like, "Damn, that game is really good. What if we did all this but in 4K?"
Ah.
That's
Yeah.
how the art feels to me. It is so beautiful running on my 1440p monitor. Oh my god. Like it just is the crispest lines, the most beautiful looking everything. It's so nice. I was astounded by looking at this art. It was so so good.
Yeah, so
And
I'm excited for this one. It's got some cool mechanics, some things that I didn't expect from it. The JJ, did you have at any point in the combat, did you have a character get knocked out?
all the time.
Okay, so you learned about the auto revive mechanic. Yeah, it's so Andy, there's an auto revive mechanic in this. I assume you'll be able to get a skill, or well, there is a skill. There is a skill in one of the characters that will revive a fallen ally, but also if you wait long enough, they'll recover on their own from being knocked out, and a portion of their health will refill, and they're just back in the fight.
How did you end up using that to your advantage, JJ?
You can just have one person die every round if you just don't let your other people die, then that guy gets back up and you don't have to heal him anymore. You just keep using
How
the
many
damage.
rounds?
It wasn't that many. It was like 2 maybe.
2 or 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's long enough that the battle will be continuing, especially if you're fighting like a large group of monsters or something.
Mhm.
Definitely felt like, hey, this is really sweet and I can abuse this to never have to spend turns healing my guys until I'm out of combat
Auto
and then I can
Phoenix
heal back to
down.
full. Yeah.
Yeah, or make sure this guy is down when the boss throws out his big attack. He takes no damage because he's already down, and oh, he's back up the next turn.
Exactly. Don't waste the person's turn healing the other guy who's low. Just let him die. He'll come back in a couple rounds. Then you can, heal him up at that point or use a heal all because everyone will need healing at that point. Something like that. Very
I
fun.
think COTC has really skewed my healing perspectives. It's like either all healing or heal all. Like all everyone doesn't get healed at all ever because we need to just burn, or all healing all the time,
You could say that in all RPGs, healing spells are a waste of time, right? You should just be killing the bad guys 100%. And
Yeah. More damage is better. Offense is the best defense.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
But Michael, did you know there was a place you could go stand on the overworld and listen to a Mitsuda track on the That was, one of the ones that he was guest composing.
Oh, I missed that. No.
When you finally get to the overworld, and the overworld is very Chrono Trigger like. Again, I was talking about the Chrono Trigger influence on this game.
Oh yeah, the tiny sprite on the giant
tiny
map.
little sprite, big map that's very cute, beautiful. It has like all sorts of moving pieces
tiny little town next to you.
Yep. If you go to the left, like there's a big like series of pools, and you stand there and you try to go in, it's like, hey, you can't go in here, but if you stand at this spot, you can listen to one of the track for this area that you can't go to. But hey, this was done by Mitsuda, and here it is. Like, and you just stand there and you'll listen to it.
That's cool.
Pops up a little text box from the developers. Very cool.
Man, hey, this game is gonna make you want to play on you'll want to play on a huge screen because it's gonna look very pretty. Like looking at every screen of this, you're like, oh man, I want to see the detail and all these sprites and everything else.
Yeah.
But like, also part of me wants to like play it on a Game Boy. You know what I mean?
One of the things I think about this art style, though, is because the lines are so clean and stuff, I bet on small screens it still looks really good.
I would bet, right?
Like,
what's it coming to? Do you know?
I think it's coming to everything. I could pull out my backer survey and double check.
It's definitely on Steam. That's where I played the demo. It's definitely coming to Switch. I believe that's where Michael played the demo. Yep. I don't know what else.
Yeah. I'm into it.
The only bad thing I have to say about this is they're releasing so close to Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, you think it's the same crowd? It's bad for you.
No, it's bad. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's bad for me personally.
But I don't think Michael's not a huge Baldur's Gater.
I am not, so I'm all in on this one.
I want to play this so bad. And I'm going to be denied because I want to play Baldur's Gate so bad. Also, there's a Trails game coming out this year, Michael. Do you know that?
I did know that. I'm pretty sure I have it
a week. No, that is
1
Trails
week from
into
now?
Reverie.
Yeah, 7th of July.
You guys, you can't be caught up. There's no way. There's too many of these games.
I'm caught up.
I'm still way behind.
I'm caught up,
but slowly catching up. But yeah, there's another one coming out in a week.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I could probably get caught up if I played games other than COTC.
Michael,
but I'm not
Andy, don't
because I like making fun of it.
Number one, you won't do that. Number two, don't lie to yourself. You ain't got that time.
I'm not gonna.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Even if you played on your deck, which you could actually play all these games on your deck, I'm pretty confident. That's not gonna happen, man. Come on. There's like 300 hours plus of JRPG in there. That's not happening.
Okay. But
I know
802 hours on this other game.
Okay. Well, you could definitely get to the Cold Steel games with that amount of time.
I'm not going to do it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. We're all being real.
I got FF7 Remake to play still.
Whew. That's like 80 hours at least.
Yep.
All right. While we're being real, hey,
honesty is the best policy.
Andy, what's up with Spider-Man?
The Realist. Dude, it's the realest movie I've seen in a long time.
Which Spider-Man is this? The newest one?
Across the Spider-Verse. I went and saw it.
I am a huge fan of Into the Spider-Verse. Should I see this movie?
Hands down, no question, you should have already seen this movie.
It's too late because I didn't. But I should, is what you're saying.
The opening is amazing and poetic and really flips the first movie on its head. And then midway through, they're like, maybe not. Think about it again. I don't want to spoil the ending, so I won't, but good God. It's really, there's a lot to say that's spoiler related, but both of you need to see it. And
let's dodge the spoilers and talk about something that I really, really liked about that first movie is the art good.
The art got an upgrade. It actually, unfortunately, made the news because they talked about the insane amount of hours and time that movie took to make.
The first one,
but it is the second one. The first one took a ton of work. It's been what, 4 or 5 years since the first one.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So it's been 4 or 5 years to make this one, and the hours were more by a lot, and you can see why. They go a lot of places, as you might know already. But more than that, I think what impressed me most about it is that they took to heart the idea that people really loved, that they took stewardship of a style, of an art style in that first movie and really made it their own. They didn't try to shoehorn in like artistic poses into their animation that was just standardized animation. They took the entire screen image to make beautiful pictures, and this time around they really turned that dial until it snapped off.
There are characters it goes to 11 situation.
Yeah. There are backgrounds that fade away when a character is talking sometimes into just the colors that were there before, and you don't notice it until halfway through the most pointed part of what they're talking about, and you're like, this character is now isolated on the screen in what used to be a background but is now a painting.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is definitely one of those like amazing touches that you don't notice, and then you watch it again a second time, you're like just clapping the entire time.
The bad guy, do you want to know a little bit about the bad guy or no?
It won't bother me, but I defer to Michael.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so the bad guy's name is Spot, and his, as you can guess, his character then is like a spotted. This is like a spotted design.
It looks like a Dalmatian.
Kind of, yeah. But the spots are like this living, moving thing. And the only reason I wanted to mention it is because the way they treated the spots versus the rest of the image, it's like this weird liquid ink that is moving around as if it's not connected to the movie at all. It still looks like it's embedded in the character, but something about the inkiness they gave it, the sheen they gave it, makes it look wrong, which actually adds to the character on purpose, I think, because his character is supposed to kind of be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's voiced by Jason Schwartzman, which sounds odd to mention because he kind of starts out as a joke, right? And you hear the voice and you're like, haha, it's Jason Schwartzman. This guy's a joke, right? And even the music, oh my God. Did you guys, I mean, we all, I think, appreciated the music in the first one, right?
Oh, I watched the first one very recently. I legitimately love the music in that movie. It's good.
I think aside from the like tracks, which they actually put real effort into, unlike most people, like, remember that Willow, we talked about Willow and they were just doing like earworms, Ken and I were really lamenting that they were just picking tracks, even though they really didn't fit at all. Even if you wanted to pick tracks from the 80s because you wanted 80s earworms, you could have picked better tracks, Yeah. So they, they pick rap and hip hop and other styles that really reflect the movie, just like they did the first time around. And people wrote songs for the movie, and they're really reflective, like they were first time around. But like this Daniel Pemberton guy who popped up in like 2015 making Ridley Scott movies, and then he did, I think, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse also, really developed a new soundscape for this that is, it takes the idea of themes and really changes what people use them for. Like if you listen to John Williams movies, themes are interlaid in like almost every piece, right?
You might say leitmotifs.
Mm-hmm.
You might say that.
Yeah, you could say
I pulled that. I pulled out a big word.
He inverts some of them to use later in the movie that he uses at the beginning. He uses some that you think sound heroic at the beginning and all of a sudden sound sinister at the end, even though they haven't changed. Just amazing stuff. And some of them he takes a joke at the beginning that he uses for that spot guy. It's like, this guy is a joke, right? So his theme is whistling. And over the course of the movie, the whistling changes to violins. And all of a sudden, he's not a joke anymore, just by listening to the music.
He woke up and chose violins.
It's very creative. Actually, I don't want to get into that.
Podcast. That joke is just not. I cannot. Andy, you cannot let that joke abide. That just is too much. Truly a dad joke. You are a father, so
he's in that world, and those types of jokes I feel like come naturally to him, you know?
It's
the musician in him can't not.
I can't let it lie. No.
Yeah. I salute you, sir, but also damn you.
I truly wish a lot of things about the movie that I could lament, that are not bad, that are movie related, not making the movie related. There are amazing things to say about it. If you thought the animation choreography, or whatever you want to call it, of the design of fights was good in the first one, they're really going to turn you on your head in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Story? So that first one was maybe for teens. This one is probably for like late teens. There's a lot of like stuff that's not for kids in terms of like life stuff. You know?
Okay.
People figuring out who they are aside from their parents, I'll say. And parents, you know, it's really good for parents too. There's a lot of the movie that's for parents, about like, how do you let your kids be kids when they're not doing things they're supposed to be doing, you know? How do you let your kids become adults? There's a lot of I think Ken would be able to speak better on it, but like, Spider-Man started out, seems like, as the like, how do you create a hero project a little bit, right? What are all the things that make a hero? How do we become the hero? It seems like always every Spider-Man movie is like, how do I become a better hero even if he's already a hero?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This definitely tracks into the like what happens when heroes make mistakes territory instead, which is good territory for Miles Morales, because he broke all the Spider-Man stereotypes to begin with.
There's definitely one of those. I mean, the first movie was all about, you know, expectations and meeting and living up to expectations for you and your life and all that sort of stuff, right? And I think the second movie couldn't help but follow that theme of living up to the expectations of itself, right? That movie was widely lauded as like, oh my God, this is one of the best pieces of animation in, you know, a decade, multiple decades, right? This is one of the best movies in years, right? People said that. Maybe we said that.
I think I said it's maybe the best animated movie I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah. I would believe it. And, you know, that's lofty expectations. And how do you live up to that? And then, you know, Spider-Man being a famously neurotic character, how could he not have issues with that and himself and, dealing with the fallout of the stuff that happens to him in that movie. It can't not be it. It sounds like a compelling movie already there, right? And I don't even know what the second movie's about.
Yeah, it just seems like smart.
I would avoid it as much as you can. Avoid the plot as much as you can.
Oh, I've just been staying away from anything about it because it's high on my list. But I was going to say, it feels like smart storytelling to say, what if the next step is just the character growing up? And what if we let the movie just kind of grow up with him rather than trying to catch the same magic twice? What if we just let it sort of breathe and become its own thing?
Well, it's interesting. JJ's point is very prescient once you watch the movie, talking about how the movie not only physically in the storytelling relates to the first movie, but like what the characters say about what happened in the first movie really lets you in on what they feel about, well, everything's not always perfect, even the things we make, right? Like, even if you think what we made was perfect, look at all these mistakes.
Yeah.
You'll find it in there if you're looking.
And that's, and that's life too. And that was a lot of the message of that first movie. You sometimes just have to believe that you can do it. And that's just how it is, right? There's no one to tell you you're ready or no one to tell you it'll be good. You just have to believe. And that was a big message in that first movie. So like I said, I am very interested in seeing that movie. I'll probably get around to doing it. I just don't know when.
If you caught those messages in the first one, you really do need to see the second one. And
I watched it
talk about it
2 days ago.
No, I'm saying the new one. You really, yeah. Anyway,
I'm just telling you, it was easy to pick up the themes when I watched it 2 days ago. I don't have to remember. It was like I saw it. I know.
I walked out of this and thought, man, I want to watch that again, but I kind of don't want to right now. I should go home and watch Into the Spider-Verse, but I kind of don't want to because it'll make me want to watch this again.
Yeah.
Vicious cycle.
It's horrible.
There are worse cycles, I guess.
All
right.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I do want to shout out one quick thing here as we're getting ready to end. I finally finished a game. I saw credits. We're done with Pathfinder now. I don't have to talk about it anymore.
Of course it was Pathfinder.
Yeah, it was. Sorry.
How did it wrap up?
It's fine.
Man. Whew. Here's what I'll say about the ending of that game. They answered nearly all the questions I had, and I'm shocked that that's true. Why did they have to do all of that work in the last hour of the game instead of maybe answering some of them along the way for the other 120 hours that I played? But it is surprising that they did answer all those questions.
That sounds like, I was going to say, just an aside, that sounds like Aiden.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, well, but
Aiden's half a game, really. It's like a tease for a different game, though, right?
Sure. Aiden's half a game, and they forced you to do all those side quests if you wanted to, like, kind of figure out the game a little bit more. But, like, you didn't have to make the game as long as it was, right? Like, you could have made it a lot shorter, and you wouldn't have felt that way.
I suspect.
I think.
I saw two different endings in this game. If I had not seen the second harder to get ending, I think I would have a lot lower opinion of the final results of this game.
That shouldn't happen.
I was going to say that does it a disservice. Yeah.
I can't believe. Firstly, folks, anyone out there playing this game, use a guide. Just do it. Don't even question it. Just go on there and look it up. And do it from the beginning, because some of the stuff you need to do in order to achieve this ending is some of the most inane bullshit I have ever heard of existing in a video game.
Wow. Went straight to the B.
Andy, there is a choice you make within the first 10 seconds of playing the game that affects your ending.
No.
And they don't tell you, and you have no way of knowing. Only with hindsight could you possibly know.
I don't want to put too much of a negative spin on. I don't want to put too much of a negative spin on not having the same ending, like letting games change the ending, because I think it's kind of unique. But the endings, you should be so far flung and unique from each other that, like, if you talk to somebody else, you'd be like, so how'd the game end for you? You'd be like, what? How did that happen? Right? Not like, I think I missed out on 10% of the information that would have made me happy.
So I think the thing here is you would get that if you didn't know about this like secret ending. I think you wouldn't have this problem, right? If it was, you would just be like, well, that's kind of weird. They didn't wrap up all this other weird stuff, but okay. Like I had a sweet time. I ascended to godhood and like became an angel and murdered everyone, all the bad guys, or I turned into a devil and like took over hell. And like those are wildly divergent endings and interesting from that way. But the secret ending explains a whole bunch of stuff throughout the whole game that's been going on that you didn't realize until you get to that point. But you can't get to that point unless you already knew that was the end point, right? It requires you to have like foreknowledge, which is the most BS thing I've ever encountered in a game. Like if I didn't have the guide, it would have been impossible. There literally is no possible chance that you could ever have done it. And that really sucked. Which is sad because otherwise I liked that game. And again, like I said, I'm impressed. It ties up all the loose ends in that secret ending. Really, really impressive they did that. But also, how could you possibly know to get there without having, again, the foreknowledge of looking at the guide or something? Just really crazy. Those kinds of games go way off the rails at the end. You're just like, I'm fighting abyssal lords that own their own planes. I'm fighting the literal concept of fate, things like, JRPG type stuff, right?
Yeah,
it's like you're just way just weird RPG ending stuff. You're fighting God, you're fighting the concept of destiny, you're fighting, like all that kind of stuff. You're really way off the end there. And it's cool and fun. But yeah, that the ending really got me annoyed. Which is sad because I think people need to see that ending because that ending is cool and like tells you why a bunch of stuff was happening throughout the game. But yay, we're done.
Yay!
Yeah,
we made it.
And if people,
Michael, where could people?
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Dang. Michael,
people can get at us.
Where can people?
All right, we're gonna do this one more time.
Once more from the top.
I wonder if I've had a bad delay today or something, because it seems like there's been a little bit of a delay when I talk.
Hard to know. Maybe there's more lag than usual.
If people want to tell Andy how much delay there is, Michael, where can they go?
Oh, I'll find out in the recording.
They can write to us at podcast@weweregamers.com. We love receiving email. We'll collect up a bunch of them and have an email episode like we just did recently.
We got more to cover. We got more to cover from that email episode. It's coming up soon, folks.
Yeah,
keep it.
Right in.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah.
Write in and tell us what your favorite part of the Nintendo Direct was.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to go. Yeah. It better be Vampire Survivors.
I mean, was there other news?
And if they want to see us on YouTube, we're at youtube.com/@weweregamers. And on social media @weweregamers. Find us on all those places. Okay. Lemon squeezy. All right. Later, dudes.
So we should record a thing right now that says, and we'll be off next week for holidays. Yeah, hooray.
And hey, America. We're going to be out next week, just like you should be. Go enjoy the sunshine. Touch some grass.
Woo. Happy birthday.
I hope I didn't laugh too loud over that because I actually want to use it.
I don't think so. I didn't hear you. I heard JJ mostly.